for tuning in to Bridging That Gap and sharing stories with your hosts, Elsa Gutierrez and Marlene Hurd. Inspired with the need to heal ourselves, we're coming together with some awesome guests, and we have invited with us Rashid Salam. Rashid, welcome to this amazing segment.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited. This is actually something new. We decided to come together with sharing stories and bridging that gap with mental awareness because we see how the two actually work together. It's when you get your story out there and then you educate on what mental awareness is. And it's just a pleasure being here. Rashid, I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you're born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and there's other things.
Well, it's a long story if you want to hear it, but I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I got out of the area from the projects of 12 brothers and sisters, went into the Air Force and wound up doing my time in the United States Air Force, got out and got into a management training program with Household Finance Corporation, became a branch manager. From there, I became a bank manager. From there, I became a corporate finance person. And now, all of a sudden, I'm doing community service because that's always my passion. I've always wanted to be a teacher or a psychologist. I wound up being either one. So I wound up being a bank manager. But those two particular tools that I've always wanted to be, I acquired it through the jobs that I had, understanding people, things that are going on. And with my background from St. Louis, Missouri, going through what I went through and the trauma and the crisis stuff that I went through, it just brought me to in a full circle to come to give back like they gave back to me. And that's how I got out of St. Louis, quite frankly.
Okay, well, it's such a pleasure. And I want to share a little bit with Marlene how we ran into each other because I'm a RAP facilitator and I know you are with the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And we also met on the Lift Every Voice and Speak Bureau. So we're also speakers. So that's how we kind of met and we ran into each other. And we both have that passion for recovery.
Right.
You know, since we kind of embraced that whole RAP theory. And for those who aren't aware of what RAP is, it's a tool that has 5 key concepts and it really brings in, gives you that structure to bring in some life skills. And I know you have a nonprofit, because that's something that I want you to talk about.
Right.
Where do you want to go with this RAP facilitating?
Well, you know, in my nonprofit, what I do, I basically do workshops and seminars for young males and females. I've been doing life skill development classes and life coaching for quite some time since I walked away from the industry. So I've developed some IOP programs, some curriculums that are designed to enhance, empower, and put our young people on a track of success. If we're going to have a future, we're going to have to deal with our young people in some shape, form, or fashion. So it's 2 elements there that my nonprofit stands for. Be a champion for education and be a champion for health and wellness. Those 2 tools work together. You can't have wellness without education. You can't have education without wellness. So I've used those particular tools to implement a national campaign to concentrate on empowering people. Let's walk away from illnesses and step into wellness. That's conceptually how we want to look at it.
And I like how he brings that to the table. And Marlene, I know you're into his bio and you're very familiar with certain organizations that he's a part of. So can you talk about ask him that question?
Well, the one thing that I was really interested in hearing is I noticed that you're doing work with the Alameda County Faith Initiative.
Yes, the Alameda County Faith Alliance Council. I was a part of the origination of that whole council when the Department of Children and Family Services came to the faith community asking for help to get homes for foster children, because the children in East Oakland, East Hayward, and East San Leandro were going outside the area. Therefore, they were running away from home because it was taken away from their families. So this faith initiative program, the Department of Children and Family Services came to us and they sent us to a complete training on all these different avenues and areas of concern. And we just will go out to the churches on Sunday, give these 10, 12-minute presentations, letting people know the importance of how to keep our children safe, how to keep our children involved in our community, and for parents, relatives, and cousins and uncles to come together. Let's keep our babies in our own homes, in our own communities. And that's why we have this anger in the hearts and minds of our young males and females right now, because they don't think anybody loves them.
Oh, how many churches were you working with?
Well, we had 126 churches, which was part of the original Faith Alliance Council, and I think it went up and went down, but the point is they were able to get 400 homes. over the period of time that they would send people through the training to get those particular homes. And I enjoyed it for one particular reason, because I'm a community person. I grew up in the church. My father and his father was a minister. They wanted me to be one, and I ran from it, and I wound up being back there anyway. But the point is, I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the religious concepts on Sunday mornings. That's where we come together, mostly on Sundays.
Yeah.
If you want to catch us, that's where to get us.
Yeah.
So they were fortunate to have ministers who allowed us to come in and share with a little 10-minute video of what it is to be a foster parent, because people have this stigma that foster care children are bad. It wasn't the child who had a problem, it was the parents who had the problem. The children just happen to be the victims of that. So how can we give that love back? How can we give it back? It's trauma. Another thing, they go through trauma and crisis, they don't think anybody loves them. So they're angry.
And so I admire you for that. Now, in working with, is it 400 families?
Yes.
Have you been in touch with them? Do you know what they're doing now?
Well, what happens here, they have annual, quarterly meetings. They have, programs that the foster care families get together and do with the Department of Children and Family Services. They honor these families throughout the year. And what we try to do is create environments where we can help. It's Christmas time, at Thanksgiving, at school times, that we give back and have opportunities for them to get something back to these young people. I've met a lot of people in this particular community, and the people's hearts are really, really good to just want to even take the opportunity to try to do something like this, because it's difficult with children who have gone through a trauma and you not knowing how to handle that trauma. And I think when she was talking about this RAP facilitation, what really attracted me was the structure that it gave a parent, the structure that it gave a person, that they can go in and there's a trauma, address it properly, knowing that the power is within you. But the children don't know that, and the parents don't have the knowledge base or the structure to deliver that particular good product or service to that child. Therefore, we have difficulty with families, and that's what I love about this program, that we bridging the gap, bringing people together, connecting families together, even the people who come out of prison, the first-time offenders. This RAP program is able to bridge that, utilizing this program that we have with the Faith Alliance Council and the Department of Children and Family Services.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Awesome. When I ran into him, Marlene, and I shared a little bit about my story when I was at the Speakers Bureau, and I just knew he had something special about him besides all of the background in that bank, and he really brings that structure. Because I know, Rashad, ever since you walked into my life, I've kind of restructured myself a little bit more. As RAP facilitators, it's based on the 5 key concepts, but you constantly have to evolve. It's a process of growth, and you have to, and it's something that you can do anywhere you're at, and it's been a blessing just to be able to embrace that and to see where we can go with that. And with you, Marlene, with all the projects that you're involved in, Prodigal Child, Black and Brown, we're just bridging that gap. We're coming together. This is actually the first time me and Marlene are kind of co-hosting both of our shows in one spot. We're trying to organize ourselves, and God sent us Rashid, who is very structured, and I'm very grateful for you, Rashid. I am very grateful, and I see the amazing work that you've done. I've seen your webpage with your nonprofit that you have, and the way you're able to what would you call that? Not market, but
you're right, it's marketing. It truly is marketing. It's very important that we constantly progress.
Fundraise.
Yeah, we're constantly progressing.
I couldn't think of that.
We're all constantly progressing.
He comes up with some amazing ideas.
And I think what you guys have going here should continue, because we're not going to do this by ourselves. So the collaboration and the relationship that you guys have, it's a commonality there. This should be presented on a weekly basis. And I like being here, and I understand the importance of it, sharing stories. That's basically what it is. All we are is a culmination of our past experiences, and that's sharing stories. Now, how can we take those stories and apply them religiously? Like all the information in the Bible, they're stories. We wouldn't be able to relate to it if God didn't give it to us in stories. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of sharing stories to me. That there's always a message.
As you were saying that, this tingling just came over me. Like a presence just came over me as you were saying that. So, thank you, Rashid.
No, thank you for letting me be here, because we need more of this interaction. We need more of this interaction.
And it's so important, because every time we're going towards something that's good, and this is what I really want people to understand, anytime we're going towards something that is good and that's going to bring you know, blessings and recovery and wellness. It's
Yes.
always a struggle. There's always
Yes, it
obstacles.
is.
Yes.
And that's where the 5 key concept comes.
Right.
You got to keep that hope alive. You got to take that personal responsibility. You have to educate yourself. You have to self-advocate, you know, and you need to speak.
Yeah. It's
I
simple,
knew, you
safe,
know,
and free.
Yeah, it's not. And even when I walked into your life with sharing stories, we really came together
Yes,
and
we
with
did.
this bridging that gap on mental
Yes, we
awareness,
did.
because I do come from such trauma, and I'm very open with it to speak about it, and I'm okay with that. And we've grown since then.
Yes,
You know, we've
yeah.
had our hurdles, and we're trying to. This is something that
Yes.
we're trying to bridge, and
Right.
we're trying to work it out and get the kinks out, and that's where.
Yes.
The blessings of running into
Right.
Rashid, because you'll be seeing more of Rashid in our little circle here as it grows, because this is important.
Yeah.
You know, and it starts with structure. I mean, I got to tell you, Rashid, I have structured myself since you walked into my life. And,
That's good to
and don't
know.
be afraid to be disciplined. Don't be afraid, you know, and I thank you for that courage, you know, and you never judge me by that.
That's right.
And you never hold me accountable for not trusting.
That's right.
You know, you
You
explained
had a
that
problem
to
with
me.
trusting one
Yeah,
time.
you know.
But I haven't left, right? I told you I'll be here.
You're still here,
You
and,
know.
and I'm so glad
Yeah.
because we have that. And there's other things in
Yeah.
common. I noticed as you
Yeah.
were going through his bio, you're like, oh, wow, he's done this, because you've been really involved. So I'm sure you have questions.
One thing that I so admire about you, Rashid, is your community involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed in reading your bio, you were recently appointed
Yeah.
as the president of the Oakland chapter of the Black Wall Street
Yes,
USA.
yeah, that was a
Talk
blessing.
about that.
That was
Yeah.
a blessing. I was talking to the president of Black Wall Street
Yeah.
USA. I was at a friend of mine's store, and he
Yes.
came in. We were just talking his talk. He said, "I need you." He said, I have a place I need you to
Yeah.
be because of my background, because I've been in corporate America, and being aware that building community life it definitely stems from business life.
Yeah.
You can't have a community without business life. So it was always an exciting thing to me because I wanted to do this economic development thing, this ergonomic engineering that they always talk about. What is that? Making the community fit the people instead of people fit the community. You know, that type of
Yeah.
thing. So when he brought that up, I'm real familiar with Black Wall Street and that story. I was a part of in Oklahoma when they was trying to get reparations
Right.
for those
Yeah.
people, and they got
Right.
turned down. And
Right.
the young lady who was doing that was so disappointed, and we were back there on the floor during that time period when that was going on. That is a story that has not been told yet.
No, it hasn't.
They could put Rosewood on or Rosebud, whatever they want to call that movie. That is not
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenal story
I
that still has to be told, and it was the most prolific economic system in the world, and nobody wanted, the powers that be didn't want us
Yeah.
to see that.
And our children need to
That's
know.
true.
Yeah,
And so I have some familiarity with it, and my history of going back. I love history because it was taught to me from I went to Dunbar Elementary School in St. Louis, Missouri, Langston Hughes. We know all their stories, and we
Wow.
were taught that. But these things are not being taught today.
No, they're not.
So we've gotten away from it. So with me doing these classes and workshops, I incorporate
Awesome.
understanding self.
Yeah.
You know, that's a part of one of the first part of my class is know thyself. But see, I'm not talking about know yourself. Historically, know yourself.
Yeah.
Because in the word self, you take the F off, it's cell. We are cells, right? And these cells multiply and build. So until we understand, we walk around with this thing 24/7 and don't know how it works. And this is the thing about the trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once trauma happens to you, it's locked in your
Yeah.
DNA, and only you have the key.
Unlock.
But you need the tools, and that's what rap means to me.
Unlock.
Give us
Yeah.
the tools to unlock that, so you can really become yourself. Because nobody's going to get this out of you but you.
Yeah. And they're so simple, but they're so complex at the same time, because a lot of people don't want to take that time to take that personal responsibility for their own happiness,
Absolutely.
or even peeling back those layers and trying to move forward. And society, how it's coming, we talk about how the kids are developing such anger and they're getting lost. I mean, they're so technology savvy, but yet with emotions they're unable to connect. They can't relate to their inner selves.
That's true.
And it's because they have lost those stories, and it's so important to come out here, even with Berkeley Media here, how they open their doors. And we just walked in here and were able to see that awesome show that they had, the youth that were coming out and speaking out. And it's an amazing thing to see, but we need to see more of it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
agree
and that's
with you.
something that
You
we
know,
have to really put out there.
Well, that's one of the problems with our children.
Yeah.
Everything is machines.
Yeah.
There's no connection. There's no
No.
human touch anymore. Therefore, how can there be emotion when there's no humanity?
yeah.
You know, so this is a real issue.
Yeah.
And this is why I think we need to promote reading. We need to
Yeah.
get more involved in our children's life. We need to tell them put that thing down.
Yeah.
But they need to understand the damage that does. Too much leisure eliminates the possibility for your brain to function right.
Yeah,
Your brain
yeah,
is designed
yeah.
to solve problems.
Yeah.
Well, too much leisure, you're not going to solve too much
No,
benefit
no,
because
no.
you're not doing anything productive to make your brain really
Yeah.
work. You know, so we have to understand how to teach this thing
Yeah.
called self,
Yeah.
and understand that it starts here with the purpose of the eyes, the purpose of the ears, the purpose of the. They need to know why your heart beats at a certain rate.
Yeah.
They need to know why the kidney function, that circulatory system, which is a scientific and mathematical
Oh, yeah.
equation. We don't get that, and children don't get that. They wouldn't damage themselves if they only knew themselves.
Yeah, and that's something you promote on your nonprofit.
Oh,
It's
yes.
called the
That-
Champion for...
Be a Champion
Be a
Foundation.
Champion
We say be a
Foundation.
champion in all
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
That's my tagline, not just be a champion. Everybody think first place is the only champion. Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a champion of fifth place. Nobody did it but me,
Yeah.
so that makes
Yeah.
me the champ. So we
Yeah.
trying to say, be a champion in all you do,
Yeah.
in all your aspects of life, your social life, your political life, your education life, and your athletic life. We try to combine that whole thing because we do have basketball camps and football camps, but you can't play unless you go through one of our training programs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
essential.
amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome. That's amazing. Those are the amazing
Yes.
things that he does.
Yes, I'm really
Yeah.
glad you brought up the word first.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, in your bios, reading about you were very instrumental in helping develop the first community-based partnership
Yeah.
with the Department of Social Services
Yes.
Agency. Please talk about that.
Yeah.
Back in Santa Clara County, we were a part of a science and math and technology program that Intel Corporation came to us and gave us the support. But we had the opportunity to take that private entity and take it to the county, and we partnered as a community-based organization, a corporation, and the county came together and established a facility to deal with science, math, and technology. It was just a beautiful thing. It just happened by, like we say,
Yeah.
osmosis, but we happened because it was time for it to happen.
Yeah.
For those three entities to come together and begin to promote. But see, that's how I grew up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
What they did there was how we grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, where we all went to went to the post office, saw how the post office worked. We all went to the fire department, saw how the fire department
Yeah.
worked. Even before we got to high school, we went to the water company, the
yeah.
telephone company. We knew how those entities work and the involvement that they took in our community. And so that's what it meant to me at that time. We saw a process taking place, and it was a great process to the point where President Clinton, piped in from the White House at
Yeah.
one of our events. And I still have the tape. I don't brag about it. It was just fun. But he came in and thanked us for the work that we were doing,
Great.
along with Intel, along with the County of Santa Clara, and the nonprofit organization which we was a part of. So it was really exciting. And I love this community stuff because somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
It's a tough job. And nobody wants that grassroots work. Everybody want to be executive directors, but nobody wants to do the work. Too many Indian cheese, we don't get anything done. Okay.
Yeah.
And then some of the other things I noticed, co-founder of the National Spending
Yeah.
and Credit Counseling Agency.
That's my
Yeah.
finance.
Oh!
That's my finance background. I just had to teach financial empowerment, not
Yeah.
financial
Yeah.
education, because people, I'm financially literate. Nobody wants to be put down.
No.
So why don't we just say financial empowerment? But
Yeah.
you give the tools and the techniques that you really don't know much. And it's amazing that we can have a degree in finance and not know how things work in this economy. We don't know anything about how to manage our money because we can't manage ourselves. So we're consumerized to function and act in ways. So it's important that we know that this thing called the dollar, if not placed in its proper areas, it becomes a liability to you than an asset. And I always say we are the chiefs of our own money, and your dollars should be looked at as soldiers. How you place and use your soldiers will determine whether you're going to win the war or not. Okay,
Yeah.
so your dollars have to be strategically placed to do you some good. So if not, somebody know how to get your dollar. It means somebody can take it away from you. It means you're going to be in poverty instead of being the one who wins this war called the developing yourself.
Yeah.
So it all goes back to us.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, if you don't have the education as we do in RAP, if you don't take the personal responsibility, if you don't get the support system you need, and self-advocate for yourself, the hope goes away. It disappears. So we just try to make sure that we empower the human being, empower the person, and we have a much better life if we do.
Yeah. And I love about him, he's so genuine. I
Yes,
mean,
I
I
see
just,
that.
you know, he's so real, and you really
see
do
that.
connect, because I feel that, you know, I really feel that you really go out of your way to make a person, although you come back for such a background, you're so humble. You stay real.
When you come
and
from
stay
St. Louis,
grounded.
Missouri, when you come from
Yeah.
living on a couch with your brother for 6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
12 children, a 3-bedroom home, and all you need is just
So
a
is
little
that
bit
what
of
it
space to
is?
be comfortable,
Yeah.
you are humble, okay?
Wow,
and you know,
that's
and that
amazing.
humility comes about, and
That's
you
amazing.
recognize the
Yeah.
importance of those who don't have.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was poor until I got to the military. I mean, I was living good. For I thought I saw the world. I didn't have
Yeah.
an idea what poor was to me, because we had a good life. We
Yeah.
ate every day. We got everything we need. I didn't
Yeah.
have any problems. But and there were times that were very difficult, but we thought everybody was going through that until
Yeah.
we went out to the neighborhoods. They saw the
There's-
big houses and things like, well, how do they get that? You know, what was that all about? That's the
Yeah.
part of the process that we
Yeah.
need to start teaching our children, that there are many aspects of life.
Yes.
And how do we get our kids to stop and slow down?
Yeah.
And they know everything.
Oh, yes,
Been on the
they do.
planet to
Yes.
me 30 seconds, and they know, they tell you, oh, I already know. You know what? You can't even ask me a question
Yes.
because you don't have a clue on what the answer is going to be.
Yeah.
So the problem is, we just have to go back to grassroots.
Right.
It's hard for us to do it with our children,
Yeah.
because they're all involved in computer technology.
Yeah.
They think like this,
Yeah.
and they don't get anything done. They have no planning skills. They have no life skills. They don't even know where they're going to be 2 years from now,
Yeah.
or really is it important?
Yes.
They don't even know how the community works. They know nothing about social. They know nothing about self-responsibility. And they just do things in a way that it's not that you can get mad at them. They just
Yeah.
don't know.
Technology is that
So,
fast.
it's
they can
moving.
It's
moving.
really fast. I mean, you see people that are 8 years old on YouTube just
Oh,
creating all these
Phenomenal.
images. Yeah, it's
It's
amazing. It can be
phenomenal.
positive and negative. Yes.
But the
Oh,
humanity
last
has to
question.
come out.
before we wind down,
Yes.
I want to make sure, Elsa, that we talk about you receiving the Ambassador's
Yeah.
Peace Award.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, the Ambassador Peace Award.
That's
That was really strange. You know, like I said, I'm with the Faith Alliance Council, and one
Yeah.
of the members of the Faith Alliance Council, I worked in the community a lot. I'm always promoting peace. One of my T-shirts that I have is a fundraiser called "Be a Champion for Peace,"
Yeah.
Okay.
and it says on the back of the shirt, the ultimate goal for the human soul is peace.
Yeah.
That's what I'm always striving for.
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Oh, that really sounds good." I said, "Do you do this often?" I said, "I'm always talking about things that will bring us to a peaceful state of mind, take the stress off because that's what's making us sick, and all those types of things." So yes, peace is, quite frankly, my last name means peace. So I don't know how that happened. in the scheme of all things, in my life, my last name really means peace.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
the name that's the name that I've chosen.
Hebrew, great.
But it was the organization here that said, we want to invite you to this event, and they had all these people there. There's about 400 or 500 people in the room, and they was giving
Yeah.
these awards out. So I got the what they call the United Nations Ambassador
Yeah.
Peace Award. They wanted me to travel across the country and go overseas. I said, I'm not going overseas, but I got work to do right here.
Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
it was
It's
exciting
amazing, yeah.
they thought enough of me to award me with the Ambassador Peace Award, and
Wow.
it's just one of those types of things that
What
just came
does
about
it
because of
look
my
like?
work.
What does it look like?
It's a big plaque. It's a huge plaque, and in gold trim, and it says, this certifies that Rashid Islam is Ambassador Peace from the International Association of Federation of Peace. So it was kind of
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
But I just took it and went on by my work. It didn't really mean anything because we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And the work is tough, it's hard, it's arduous, and we have to continue. So those things are all right,
Yeah.
and I feel good about it, but I don't let that kind of stuff bother me because I got to stay focused. I give the praise to where it's supposed to be because it's not with me.
Yeah.
I didn't bring myself here, so
Yeah.
I don't want you praising me. I want to be this humble little man in the
Yeah.
background and get a praise to who it's supposed to go to. I'm definitely deterred that way because I don't want to get puffed up with ego or I think I'm somebody special. I'm just like I told her.
And he
I'm
is.
a brother from the hood trying to do the world some
And
good.
he really is, because I was like, is this guy real? We really clicked when I first met you. I
Yeah.
seen you once, and the second time we kind of clicked, and we
Yeah.
kind of been inseparable. And he's taught me a lot, and you are very humble, and I'm very grateful for having you, and thank you for taking time. And,
Well, thank you guys for
we're
even
kind of getting
bringing
towards
me
the
here.
end of the segment, so we
Yeah.
want to give thanks to. You're going to finish the.
Yeah, but what I want to do is I just want to thank you, Elsa.
Yeah.
It is it's so important when we
Yeah.
can come together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Community.
Yes.
And where we can come together,
Yes.
share our talent
Yeah.
to help our community. And Rashid, before we close,
Yes.
I want you to, for the viewers that are listening and
Yes.
watching, I want you to just speak to
Yeah.
them. Let them know, say something profound that will allow them to realize their worth,
Yes.
their value, and how they can truly make
Well,
a difference.
I think one of the main things we need to do is have more people do rap facilitation classes.
Okay, great.
You know, because what happens is that I think we can't do enough of
Yeah.
these empowerment programs. And we do provide these workshops and seminars. I think in not one church in this country
Yeah.
should there not be a rap facilitator. Not
Okay.
one teacher in our community should not be a rap facilitator, or in that school system
Yeah.
have a rap facilitator to deal with the traumas and the stresses.
Yeah.
Even our corporations, you want to improve employee assistance, you want to improve productivity, we should have rap facilitation in those corporations as well. In our county and state and our public vehicles. No, you have people riding down the street on,
Yeah.
on buses who may be experiencing
Yeah,
trauma in their
yeah.
life, who may just got evicted from their home or foreclosed
Yeah,
on their
yeah.
house. They need trauma. They need rap facilitators even in public transportation. So from the top down, we need to think in terms of how can we promote self-empowerment. And not feel bad about
That's what
these
it is,
problems that
yeah.
we have, because if you ever had anything happen to you, you've gone through trauma.
Yeah.
If you ever had a death in the family,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
gone through trauma,
Yeah.
because we don't understand these particular things. So my suggestion would be, give us a call.
If you call,
And invite us out to do workshops and seminars in your churches,
Yeah.
in your
Okay.
community, in your corporations, and I guarantee you, you'll see a tremendous improvement, because this is evidence-based. We don't have to worry about
Yes.
whether it works. We don't have to worry about teaching you anything. We
Yeah.
empower you to think for yourself.
Could you tell the
Yeah,
viewers
let them know how they can
to reach
contact
you?
you.
So you can contact us by calling me at you can email me at Be a Champion Foundation. It's rashid.salam@gmail.com, or you can call me at 650-669-0458. And I'm on Facebook, so you can hit me up on Facebook. My
Yeah.
daughter put that up. I hate it myself, but I still use it.
Thank you so
But-
much. It's
yes, ma'am.
awesome.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you for guys for
really-
having me. I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed you. Thank you. Yeah.
So, there you have it, Rashid Salam and our host tonight, our guest tonight, and Elsa Gutierrez hosting, along with Marlene. And we want to thank you for being with us this evening. And we want to let you know that you can be the next one to share your story and help your community. We want to also thank Berkeley Community Media
Yes.
for hosting tonight and allowing us to air the show this evening. So hopefully we'll see you on the next segment of Sharing Stories, Bridging the Gap, Mental Awareness.